Okay, so this is turning out to be quite an adventure. Alright, now back to what I was saying. Okay, so we have static dimensional coordinates, we have dynamic dimensional coordinates, we have established the magnitudinal fourth dimensional value. Another 20 minutes has passed. So I'm going to try to go back into what I was saying. I apologize for any reiterations that take place after this. There's going to be more camera breaks because I got a 29-minute camera limitation, and I want to try to get as much fundamental geometry as possible. Fundamental geometric volume. I want to get as much of that done as possible. So, if I was clear in the last 4 minutes, if the last 4 minutes was clear, what you should understand is that avert describes dimensional coordinates. A dimensional coordinate, remember I said in a previous video that you can subscribe a 90-degree angle from a single point location and get a dimension. So if you have a single point or single vert and you draw a line from 90 degrees, you get one dimension. If you draw another line up 90 degrees, another dimension. Another line that way 90 degrees, you get a third dimension. If you keep doing that into infinity, theoretically you can do that into infinity up to an infinite number of times. The single point, the single vert itself as a dimensional location holds the value of its specific location, and each infinite location or infinite dimensional coordinate associated with that single point location can have one value, which is 0. So basically what I mean is this. On a Cartesian plane, Cartesian plane in geometry is two-dimensional. It has a length and a depth of x and y. It has two coordinate planes, two number lines. One is the y number line and one is the x number line. The center of the number line is 0. The number line on a two-dimensional Cartesian plane has an x coordinate on that line of 0 and a y coordinate on that line of x. A 0x the center for the x line is 0. The center for the y line is also 0. You could do a three-dimensional Cartesian plane and have another line that cuts through that Cartesian plane 90 degrees. That would be z, which is height, which would also have a location on that number line as a magnitudinal value of 0. So you have a single point value of 0 with 3 locations. So you can subscribe up to 11 of these types of dimensional intersections at 90 degrees in our universe to get the 11th dimension that's described in string theory or M theory, which will give you up to 11 dimensional coordinates, A through K. Now, here's the part where in the last video, or the last 4 minutes ago, relative to yourself, where I said something interesting. These 11 dimensions operate on the magnitude of value that is time, which we associate as a dimension itself, which is an abstract concept, not truly geometric dimensions. The universe as 11-dimensional volume, 11-dimensional geometry moves around in this magnitudinal force that is time through existence, which is an infinite number of geometric coordinates, an infinite number of 90-degree intersections relative to a single point location. Whereas one single magnitudinal line with a location of 0 intersected by a second dimensional line with a location of 0, and a third with a location of 0, and a fourth with a location of 0, into infinity subscribes the static dimensional coordinates of existence, as I overly, explain. I constantly suggest that existence is static dimensional coordinates. That is absolutely what I mean by existence is static dimensional coordinates. I mean that there are an infinite number of magnitudinal coordinates that can be subscribed mathematically that intersect each other at 90-degree angles that subscribe all the dimensional coordinates of the of existence itself. That means that the life on a Cartesian plane, if you go to Wikipedia, you look at the Cartesian plane, and you will see an x value and a y value intersecting each other at 90 degrees with a location 0, and you will recognize that in the Cartesian plane always has two values, a plus plus, a minus minus, a plus minus, and a minus plus. Recognize that in existence, that value, plus plus, will be plus infinity. This value will be minus infinity. I'm sorry, minus minus infinity. This value will be plus minus infinity. It'll be half infinite pluses and half infinite minuses into infinity. The value on the bottom, on this corner, will be the same way. It'll be half pluses to infinity and half minuses to infinity. And you will do this an infinite number of interreactions. Now, all those values are operated on by the fourth dimensional time as a single magnitudinal force that allows the movement of matter, space, and locations through the static dimensional coordinates. The universe is dynamic dimensional coordinates. So what does that mean? You say that a lot, but what exactly does that mean? I will simplify it for you in a very elegant way. If you look at a Cartesian plane, I want you to picture a Cartesian plane in your head. And this is what I want you to do. The Cartesian plane has an absolute location of 0. The first Cartesian plane is going to be existence. It's static dimensional. It's the flat plane that goes into infinity. But we're only going to work on just 2 dimensions right now to keep it simple. So we're going to use the x and the y of this static Cartesian plane into infinity. So these values are going on to infinity. The plus plus is going to infinity. The minus minus down here is going to infinity. The plus minus here is going to infinity. The minus minus down here is going into infinity. If you would like, I can do another video specifically on a Cartesian plane if you would like more information. Now, we have these coordinates, these verts, that describe the locations of the static geometric volume. Now, take a second Cartesian plane and place it onto the first Cartesian plane, the static Cartesian plane. The second Cartesian plane is going to represent existence. Now, because existence is dynamic geometric volume, what we're going to do is, we're going to do something interesting, very abstract, very interesting. We're going to spin the second Cartesian plane around its 0, 0 coordinate. Because by rotating the Cartesian plane around its 0, 0 coordinate, what we can do is we can describe the second Cartesian plane as a dynamic continuum of geometric volume. Well, geometric coordinates, it's 2-dimensional right now, so it technically has no volume. But we can describe this object as a dynamic coordinate system. It's spinning around its common center, and it's dynamic. The static coordinate, which is existence, which the dynamic one is inside of, is stationary. It's not spinning around. It's not moving whatsoever. Now, to give you an even better understanding of what existence is truly doing, we're going to have existence, because we want it to be a continuum, so we're going to have existence orbit the center of the Cartesian plane that represents existence. So as it's moving around the center of this absolute infinite number of coordinates operating on 11 dimensions, both of them being subject to the same magnitudinal force known as time, you get static dimensional coordinates governed by dynamic forces, and you get the universe as dynamic dimensional coordinates governed by dynamic dimensional forces. This is what infinite infinity is trying to describe. This is my concept, my opinion of what is really going on. This is what I truly believe is where we exist. We exist here. You are here. Existence is here into infinity. And this is what my mind tells me is going on. This is what I see. This is when I think of existence in the universe, this is what I see. Actually, this is a simplification of what I see, because let's say my finger represents a universe that's spinning. Well, this is another universe that's also moving around. This could be a universe that is also static dimensional coordinates. So our universe is moving around existence, where this universe is stationary relative to existence itself as static dimensional coordinates also. It can inherit that from existence. And there's lots and lots that I can cover, but with all of the camera breaks and interruptions and my mood jumping from back and forth from one idea to the next, I think it's a good point to stop here, give you guys a chance to see the video, give me some feedback on what you think, what suggestions, what can I change, what should I add, what should I touch on, and what should I expand on. And with that said, as always, my name is Paul Emerson, and this is my 2 cents, and I thank you for watching.